Ok, buenos días a todos. Para los que no he tenido el placer de conocer, mi nombre es Paolo Berretta. Como podéis escuchar por el acento y la ocasional falta de vocabulario, no soy nativo español, pero soy francés-italiano y gestiono todos nuestros clientes en el mid-market y digital natives en Iberia. Parece que hace una broma, ¿no? Francés, italiano, Iberia, van a un bar, se tiran de un avión, no. Bueno, voy a hacer un pequeño switch de idioma porque la próxima charla que vamos a tener es en inglés. I'm going to introduce today the company Factorial HR. For those that don't know who Factorial is, it's one of the few unicorns in Spain. It's a company that was born just 7 years ago, 300 users around the world. They solve headaches for HR professionals. They basically made their life easier. They save a lot of money for companies that need to use their services and replace all the annoying Excel files and manual tasks. So Factorial has really revolutionized the world of HR processes in companies. And I'm truly honored today to introduce our amazing guest speaker, Marc Gonzalez, Director of Data of Factorial. Big round of applause, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for cutting your coffee break short to listen to me. So I'm a data engineer, right? I started building data platforms for companies that basically bought other companies. So I sat down with Adevinta to create great value proposition out of crossing value from InfoJobs, Habitaclia, Fotocasa. I did the same thing for Europcar with their new mobility systems, joining vacation rental with new mobilities like scooters and things that happen in the city. And I did the same things with Mango and different brands. So from time to time, I also speak with different companies, and I basically work with every single sector that is. And I like to spend time also speaking in public. So one thing that Paolo didn't say is that one trait that I love is finding pain. And this is something that I share with my current employee, Factorial. Every single one of you starts the day with a purpose. Some are more selfish than others, but all of you have one. And because, well, you don't have to wake up every day and go hunting. It's actually pretty safe. And, well, Malasaña is actually, by day, it's safe, right? The next thing that you need to fulfill this purpose is get together, right? Find people that share the same purpose, join forces, and try to fulfill that. You can think of this as your companies. The problem is, for every single people that you add to the equation, it gets more and more complex. It gets factorial complex. Factorial is an amazing number, right? It starts very slow, but it grows more than exponential. But one thing that I love about this number is that it has some hidden patterns. It tries to find the order in the chaos. And this is exactly what we do. We try to find these patterns that occur in every organization. Things like uploading your next contract, requesting your time off, and try to solve all these for our customers. The thing is, the amount of, even we are all in one, right? The amount of things that we manage to solve is very tiny compared to the many things that happen in every organization, right? From one person that has one employee and hires the next one, everything gets more complex. I guess what I'm trying to say is that Factorial's domain is extremely complex. It's something that it's more complex than any other company that I have worked before. And the team has done like an amazing job since 2017 to go and capture these processes, put it in the cloud, automate it out of the Excel. But now it's time to get Factorial to the next level. We're trying to get managers these insights to make smarter decisions, right? What we want is for them to run their business in autopilot, right? Don't worry about bureaucracy. Focus on your true purpose. One thing that blew my mind is this concept of Shamak, right? What it's called the Great Divide. And she talks about that data is split between two planes, right? You have the operational plane where all the transactions happen. And then you have another plane called the analytical. This is where business make smarter decisions and evolve their businesses. And everything is connected with our beloved ETLs, our data pipelines. But if we go back to the example that I was showing you before, and let's look at one thing that everyone knows here, even if you're not customer Factorial, which you should, it's managing time, specifically managing time off. So me, as a manager, I can go Factorial and create a vacation policies, right? For example, unlimited holidays for my employees. My employees can go and request holidays. All these are operational capabilities of a domain. There are more things I can do, right? Someone from my team can request a maternity leave, and I can accept it, or I can decline a Christmas leave because I'm a jerk of a manager. Amazing. But there are other capabilities that are analytical. For example, I want to know what has been the leave history of one employee so I can detect trends in, is this employee close to burnout and is going to leave my company? Or things like overtime compensation. In fact, overtime compensation is something that actually comes from another domain, the time tracking domain, that is in charge of following, like making sure that your company follows the laws and does these clock ins and clock outs. So knows how long have you been working for that day. So the most important thing here to start building these kind of things is make sure that you understand what are the domain boundaries of your businesses. That's specific for you. One amazing thing that can help implement this is go and implement this fancy data mesh, right? With these shiny data products. Today is probably not the day to talk about data mesh. I have a great talk online for that. But basically, this is a paradigm, right, that talks about having domain ownership and use that to build data products using this self-serve platform that is governed in this federated way. And we do this through a DDD, right, a domain-driven design, but we also do it on a sociological, right? How are your people working? And we do it also from a technical way. It's actually quite complex. So if you are dumb like me and you like pictures, this is basically a paradigm that talks about moving from the biggest monolith pieces that we've seen, which is your big data platform, into something that resembles much more your organizations, right? So you can see the different domains about time, payroll, finance, working together, sharing a data platform that is governed under this umbrella. So if you want to know more about this, go and check these amazing books. Actually, the streaming data mesh is sponsored by Confluent, so talk to your account managers. Probably you get it for free. But let's see how we build user-facing data products at Factorial. And today, what I'm going to do is share a piece of my method. Okay? I'm going to open up my brain, and you, every single one of you, you're going to get a piece of my brain home. So how we do this? Every single conversation that I have with my team, with my engineering team, about new features, new capabilities of the platform, we base it on 4 dimensions. The first one is freshness. Data needs to be, or needs to travel from the operational plane into the analytical plane very fast. It doesn't make sense for your pipelines to wait hours or even days and look at yesterday's data if you want to build something that is useful for you, right? It needs to be something like in session. And we've seen plenty of examples of this before. For us, a healthy data product is something that happens, the data, in 60 seconds or less. In fact, we are close to 4 and 7 seconds, but alerts start with a minute. One thing that we find amazing, and this helps a lot, is implementing what is called a kappa architecture. What is that? Well, it's a way to extract information from our database using MySQL. This is where all the transaction happens. And streaming all these events using the Debian, right? Capturing using the CDC that was mentioned in the question before, and streaming this into a Kafka topic, right? This is Confluent. This is why we use it. But we put all this data to sleep into a table, right, where we can do analytics on top of it. We also have a redundant pathway that we use Airbyte to extract the data every 6 hours, something like that. And this basically helps with historical data, but also, like, you know, if the version goes down because it's not managed by Confluent, this is the safe way, right? This is what we call our bronze layer. The second thing, the second dimension that I asked my team to evaluate is, what's your latency? Because if you're building something that is going to show in your app, in your web page, directly to your users, to your customers, it's super important that doesn't behave like a data warehouse. Data warehouse and cloud data warehouse are amazing, but they're going to give you an answer of seconds, in best case. Worst case, you don't know when it finishes. So this is something that we need to tackle. One healthy metric for us, if it's the endpoint behaves in less than 50 milliseconds. And again, we're close to between 20 and 40 milliseconds. Okay? So this is web time. You can embed this whatever you want. What basically we try to do is build these REST APIs as a service. Right? Everyone can build something and query these tables directly. How we do this, basically continuing the picture, is that we pair with a delta table, right, that's stored in our data lake with this topic. And if you want to do internal-facing analytics, you use Athena or your federated query engine, and you use our BI, right? We use Superset because it's cheap. But if you want to put it in the and build like you put it in the web and you want to build a data product, we paired with Tinybird, that you can find then outside. And this provides this super fast interface that can build like things like the financial workspace to understand costs of your organization. And this is what we call the gold layer. If I want to scale Factorial, I need to do it at scale, right? So during this year, we released 9 different data products, user-facing data products. And we can do it at a cost of $250 per day. That's a random number, right? Because you don't know the scale of Factorial. But that's what I'm trying to say is that it's flat, right? It's not flat, but it's going up with adoption, but it's not crazy, right? It's something that you can rentabilize. How we do this? By applying the drive principle. Do not repeat yourself. So instead of building your analytical platform and then your user data products platform, just put it in the same place. We merge these layers. We apply this CDC concept that we see before into the whole data lake. And we do this change data feed. So every single data point is propagated towards all the layers. Awesome. This helps reuse concepts for analytical, like a domain that works and defines what's the time of whatever, and use it to create data products, but also to create an internal-facing analytics. The fourth thing that I asked my team, and this is probably the most difficult thing, is have a great developer experience. And this is key, because I don't want my team of analytics engineers to go and build and maintain these data products. That doesn't scale. I want the developers, the backend developers that are facing engineering challenges to go and adopt this. How we do this? Well, we embrace their own dev cycle. They already know how to work with this. So one thing that I did when I joined Factorial is have dynamic environments. We don't have a production and then integration and then development. We don't work like that. We work with branch. We embrace the GitOps. You work on something, you create a branch, you have the whole data lake there for you. It's virtualized, of course. You work on your things. You are happy, you merge it, you close it, move into the next feature. You don't integrate anything. You don't develop on a thing that you need to maintain. Another thing that developers do, backend developers, they don't care about ETL. Only you guys care about ETL. They care about end-to-end. They care about reaching their features and capabilities into production. And this is a little bit tricky, right? Because you want some things to be automated, like you want to extract data the same way and probably provide something. But the important thing here is that they need to focus on the T. They need to focus on transformation, which is the logic of the business, which is basically what the domain knows. Data knows about extracting data, moving data. We are very good at this, right? But not at our domain. And we need this also for cost efficiency. So we need to facilitate this, but we need to make different domains, like from people, time, payroll, to work in delivering these features end-to-end by using our data platform. This is not easy to do. Right? This is something that current tools do not provide. So we went and developed our own. The first thing that we fixed is that we designed the tool for developers, not for analytics engineers. We don't work from the dashboard back to the data. We work with the teams in exposing what's important for them, what's inside their business domain. And we did this with a very simple template. We have some YAMLs. Everyone knows YAML, more or less. We provide an SQL that provides basically the logic. And we provide some checks, like some place where you can define your contracts and some things like data drift, like if my MRR calculations or revenue calculations goes to 0, probably fucked up, right? So I need to roll that back up. Awesome. What we did is basically provide a template for microservices, because Factorial it's a monolith, right? It's a startup. You start with a monolith. But we provide this template specifically for analytical microservices. The second thing that we did is to simplify reads, writes, but more important, transformations. And we did this by lowering the entry barrier, right? So I don't want to train a group of engineers in what's an incremental or what's a full refresh snapshot. They don't care about this. So what we did is, first, make the tool that you can read and write everything, right? Simple, where it is. And then provide a list of operations. We call it ops, but you can think it as data recipes, right? And you have a list. So for example, here you have the filter op, right? That basically you pass a column, and then it will filter things down for you. And we pair every single one with a use case, right? So when their transformation doesn't scale, because it's basically a snapshot, they say, hey, why don't you do an incremental load? And they just implement this. So add this operation, and it works magically. The third thing that we did is allow them to switch between streaming and batch processing. And this is actually very tricky, and the bronze layer helps this a lot. But basically, what we want is for them to be able to do stream stateful processing without they even knowing about it, right? So I'm going to do a Spanish joke here. So we created Metabolic. Lo podéis pensar como si DBT, supongo que lo conocéis, y Apache Beam tuvieran un hijo, pero el butanero es Apache Spark. Okay? This is what we did. We implemented these things in Spark, and they can run it using run in streaming, runs for them. When you want to do it like in batch, for example, doing a full refresh, because you messed up and you need to recalculate everything, just do full refresh. And it will run in batch. You don't have to change a single line of code. The fourth thing that we did is implement everything as a CTE. So this common table expression. This is probably a word of mine because I don't like Jinja, right? DBT uses Jinja. So for me, Jinja is like putting bandages over SQL. It's trying to fix something that is not designed for that. So we did everything as a CTE. So what I was showing before, like when you apply an operation, what it's really doing underneath is creating this table, right, that you can export. You can export it as SQL, run it in Athena, take your time. You don't have to do it in Tinybird. And then, yeah, basically you can see what it's doing. Like it's not doing any magic. It's not doing any Spark stuff that you need to go on the back. It's basically done for you. Very easy to debug, very user-friendly. Also, actually, if you can probably get away with this, everything that I said, if you embrace KSQL or Flink clusters. But if you don't want to log in, there's something that you can go and implement. So we open source it. You can go today, go to Metabolic Core, Metabolic Data Core, download and try it out. Leave a star, let us know if you find this is useful. So what we achieved is basically putting data as a first-class citizen. For me, data is no longer a cost center, right? It's no longer something that I need to count as platform that doesn't generate any revenue. This is something that we are building. We have 9 data products in production that we can monetize because our customers use it. So this is one of the few things that we built.
Get the royal ass in a bubble bath. Tie your hair up, you deserve the best. Come on and get it. I'm a real king. Swapping, riding yourself. Yes, go for your health. Don't need nobody else. Or maybe we're sharing our wealth. Let them haters talk. We gon' walk the walk. Looking fresh to death. Leave them covetous. Got it, flown it. Got it, flown it. Lap it to your thighs is where your power lies. Royalty. Royalty. See what you gonna. Got it. If you got it, flaunt it. I'm a real king. See what you gonna. I'm a real king. I'm a real king. Come on and get it. Yeah, I'm a real king. You never had nothing quite like me. See what you gonna. I'm a real king. You're in the presence of royalty. Come on and get it. I'm a real king.
Right? So, as you see, we've seen some insights that are directly straight to the managers to help them like take smarter decisions. And this is a picture of me coming to the event. That's actually not. But this is how I feel. Now that data is first class, we are at the same level as any other engineer. We are facing challenges. Data at Factorial is about makers. Right? That we are doing things. And it's amazing because it gives me an opportunity to create ROIs, like return of investment, on how much the data is being cost, and it's something that actually I enjoy very much. And I hope that is something that you can do at your companies, because this is a great life. Thank you so much. And I nailed it in 22, so I have some time for questions. Me las podéis hacer en castellano. Gracias. Como me hagáis preguntas comiendo y no me dejéis comer, me enfado, ¿eh? ¿No? Ok. Pues creo que dejamos como telonero, dejamos al guest speaker. Gracias, chicos.